The terminal hums with excitement. Luggage wheels echo against polished floors, cameras click, and the ocean breeze sneaks through the glass doors. You've made it, or so you think. But just as your carry-on slides into the scanner, the screen flashes red. A port officer glances at you, then waves you aside. In seconds, the easy rhythm of embarkation freezes. The crowd flows past while your dream cruise stalls before it even begins. Imagine being turned away before the ship even sails. It sounds dramatic, but in 2025, that moment happens more often than you'd think. The rules aren't the same as they were a few years ago. Port security has evolved beyond simple metal detectors and X-ray machines. Today's systems use advanced AI screening, technology that doesn't just detect objects, but evaluates behavior, intent, and even inconsistencies between your luggage and travel record. Most travelers too believe they're being checked for scissors, booze, or oversized batteries. The truth is far deeper. Behind every scam, algorithms compare your packing patterns and declared items against millions of flagged data points from prior incidents. Something as simple as a mislabeled power bank or a drone tucked in the wrong compartment can trigger a risk alert. And when that happens, the process stops cold. There's no argument, no negotiation, only a polite but firm, "Please step aside." For the unlucky few, that means missing embarkation entirely. One wrong item can turn months of planning and thousands of dollars into a lost vacation. So, before you wheel that bag to the counter, it's time to unpack the truth and learn exactly what's banned, restricted, or quietly reclassified in 2025. You won't find this list printed on your ticket, but it's what decides whether you actually board. This guide isn't built on rumor or recycled blog posts. It comes straight from the people who see your luggage every day: customs agents, port security trainers, and onboard crew who've watched hundreds of passengers pulled aside for things they didn't know were restricted. Over the past year, several major ports, including Miami, Galveston, and Southampton, have quietly updated their internal memos on carry-on screening protocols. Those notes, combined with first-hand accounts from embarkation staff, paint a clearer picture of what's really going on behind the scanners. Our goal here isn't to stir fear, it's to give you the same clarity the pros have. You'll learn how vague policies translate into real-life consequences, what actually gets flagged, what usually slides through, and how to prepare your bag so it never becomes a secondary inspection statistic. By the end of this video, you'll understand the system well enough to glide through security like crew members do, calm, compliant, and completely unbothered. Let's start with the new category most travelers don't even know exists: AI-flagged electronics. Section 1. Smart tech that backfired. AI devices now on the no-fly list. It started as a convenience revolution: smart tags for lost luggage, AI glasses that record memories, even Wi-Fi toys to keep kids entertained during long waits. But in 2025, those same devices will become the newest security headache. Modern port scanners don't just detect metal, they analyze signal behavior. If your gadget transmits unregistered data, it can trip an automatic alert before you even step through the gate. Most travelers have no idea their everyday accessories are being flagged as potential data risks. A smartwatch syncing through an unverified network, a Bluetooth beacon pinging too frequently, or an AI-powered camera with continuous Wi-Fi connectivity. All of them can look suspicious under the new screening software. Even smart glasses, once popular with travel vloggers, have made the restricted list in several Caribbean ports because of facial recognition capabilities. Here's the contrast. Most cruisers pack these items for safety and convenience, but savvy travelers are now switching back to analog gear or airline-approved smart trackers that store data offline. Cruise lines like Royal and MSC even recommend submitting a brief smart device declaration if you plan to carry drones, trackers, or wearable cameras. Pro tip: Register every smart device's serial number with your cruise line at least 48 hours before embarkation. It takes minutes but can save you hours in inspection delays. The new tech crackdown has exposed another problem: power. Because once security starts banning certain batteries, even the most prepared travelers find themselves scrambling to keep their gadgets alive. Section 2. Power Panic, the new rules for power banks and chargers. It's one of the most common heartbreaks at embarkation. You reach the scanner and the agent pulls out your power bank like it's a contraband item. Suddenly, your phone's lifeline for the entire cruise is gone. The rules around portable power change quietly in 2025, and thousands of travelers still haven't caught up. Here's what's really going on. Lithium cell limits have tightened following updated international safety codes. Any external battery over 100 watt-hours, roughly a 27,000 to 30,000 mAh block, is now banned from most major cruise lines. These high-capacity models pose overheating risks when packed together, especially in hot terminals or crowded security bins. Carnival's new embarkation notice flatly prohibits unmarked or unlabeled power units, while Royal Caribbean now requires manufacturer labeling to be clearly visible and intact. The contrast is simple. Most cruisers still pack the biggest, heaviest charger they can find, assuming more power equals better prep. But experienced travelers go smaller, dual-port 10,000 mAh models that stay under 100 watt-hours and fit neatly in carry-ons. These units not only comply with port rules, but also recharge faster via USB-C, which newer ships support in cabins and lounges. Pro tip: before you fly or sail, tape over any exposed ports to prevent accidental discharge, and print or photograph the watt-hour rating on your charger. Security officers appreciate when travelers can show exact specs. It shows awareness and cooperation. This new power paddock has turned what used to be a minor packing choice into a boarding day risk. And even if your gear passes inspection, one wrong neighbor in your bag, like a liquid bottle next to that charger, can still trigger an alert you didn't see coming. Section 3. Liquid Logic, the hydration and skincare trap. Most travelers think sealed means safe, but in 2025, that assumption can cost you your boarding pass. The new generation of AI-powered scanners doesn't just detect shapes or densities, it analyzes viscosity, transparency, and even molecular signatures. That means your rebottled sunscreen, homemade sanitizer, or energy drink might register as an unknown liquid, a red flag that can halt your bag mid-belt. Here's the new logic. AI image mapping now cross-references packaging patterns and ingredient visibility. If your sunscreen, lotion, or serum isn't in its original labeled container, it can get flagged as a non-verifiable gel. Travelers who refill bottles to save space are the most frequent victims of this new rule. Meanwhile, those who keep product in their manufacturer packaging, even travel-size ones, glide right through. The same goes for hydration and health drinks. Unmarked vitamin water or powder blends can appear as suspicious dense fluids, and energy drinks, especially those with high caffeine or taurine concentrations, are on several cruise line watch lists after being linked to in-transit dehydration cases. Then there's sanitizer. Alcohol-based sanitizers above 70% concentration are now capped per passenger. Anything over that could be classified as flammable liquid, especially in aerosol or pump dispensers. If you want peace of mind, go for TSA-safe hydration kits and cruise-approved travel sanitizers under 70% alcohol in clear, factory-sealed bottles. Pro tip: never combine liquids and tech in the same compartment. One tiny leak beside a charger or power bank can trigger a thermal contamination alert, forcing manual inspection and often confiscation. Liquids were once the simplest thing to pack. Now, they're a silent minefield, invisible to the naked eye, but obvious to the AI. And if you think that's strict, the next category might shock you. The items most likely to trigger a full bag pull. Section 4. The hidden weapons list no one talks about. Every port officer has a story about a passenger who swore it's just a souvenir, as security quietly flagged their bag for secondary screening. The truth is, the hidden weapons list isn't about what you meant to pack, it's about what the scanner sees. In 2025, even everyday objects can mimic restricted shapes or metal signatures, and that's where innocent travelers get burned. Let's start with art. Metal sculptures, wind chimes, and decorative anchors, all popular cruise mementos, are now frequently confiscated because their solid frames resemble blunt force tools. Detachable tripod legs and selfie stick extensions can also trigger alerts, especially when they're made of carbon steel or house internal springs. What looks like a harmless travel accessory to you can appear as a retractable baton to AI scanners. Then there are the sneaky culprits: belt-buckled knives, pen-shaped cutters, and magnetic massage tools. These items were once cruise-approved if packed in checked luggage, but modern scanners evaluate function, not form. Carnival made headlines earlier this year for confiscating dozens of portable mini fans, not because of airflow, but because several models contained concealed blades beneath the grills. Even novelty items are under scrutiny. Multi-tools, credit card knives, or even stylized corkscrews can be banned if they contain hidden edges or hinges. The smarter move: stick with TSA-coded gear. Accessories explicitly marked for travel compliance. These products have traceable model numbers that register as safe in both airport and port systems. Pro tip: before you zip that suitcase, open your cruise line's prohibited items PDF. They update it quietly every quarter, and what passed in 2024 might be rejected in 2025. Because while losing a gadget is frustrating, losing your entire boarding privilege over a souvenir feels far worse. And that brings us to the costliest surprise yet: the medical devices travelers forget to declare. Section 5. Medical tech and supplements, the unexpected red flag. You'd think medical gear would be the last thing to raise suspicion at embarkation, but in 2025, AI security doesn't see healthcare. It sees circuitry, tubing, and unverified chemical compounds. The result: devices meant to keep travelers alive are now among the most commonly flagged items at cruise terminals. CPAP machines, glucose sensors, and portable nebulizers top the list. They all contain lithium batteries, small reservoirs, or tubing that can resemble vaporizer hardware in scans. A single missing label can turn your essential equipment into a potential modification device, port language for anything that looks altered or homemade. Even vapes used for medical therapy are treated as suspect unless pre-cleared by the cruise line's health desk. Medications are another minefield. Many travelers toss pills into day sorters or zip bags for convenience, but unlabeled capsules or powders can trigger automatic detain and question protocols. What most cruisers don't realize is that scanners cross-reference shape and density profiles, meaning even vitamins or herbal supplements can get flagged as narcotics if they're loose. The fix is simple: always carry them in original pharmacy packaging, or at least attach the printed prescription label to a smaller container. For seniors and accessibility travelers, the stakes are even higher. Missing documentation can delay boarding for hours while agents verify device clearance. A quick call to your cruise line's special needs department before sailing can prevent that. Pro tip: pre-notify the special needs desk and list all battery-powered or medical devices at least 72 hours before embarkation. You'll receive an authorization note that speeds inspection and avoids unnecessary confiscation. Because, as complicated as it sounds, It's still easier than explaining to port security why your medical vaporizer isn't a banned e-cigarette. And next, we'll decode something even more surprising: how the bag itself can trigger a red flag. Section 6. Bag Behavior. Why your carry-on material matters now. It's not just what's inside your bag that security sees, it's what your bag is made of. In 2025, AI scanners no longer rely solely on X-ray imagery. They now use material mapping to detect density, electromagnetic reflection, and even fiber composition. That means your choice of suitcase can directly affect whether your belongings clear inspection smoothly or trigger a full manual search. The most common mistake travelers make: packing in thick, metal-lined or carbon fiber bags designed for tech protection. Those sleek hard shells may look premium, but to a scanner, they read like a solid block, opaque, suspicious, and impossible to parse quickly. The result? Your bag gets pulled aside while agents inspect every layer. What feels secure to you feels like concealed to them. Savvy cruisers know better. They opt for soft-shell nylon or polyblend bags with minimal reinforcement, paired with transparent divider pouches. These allow the scanner to see through your organization, showing neat separation of electronics, liquids, and documents. That clear structure not only reduces inspection time, but also sends a subtle signal of traveler credibility. Pro tip: follow the green tag packing method. Use color-coded, transparent pouches for each category. It helps agents identify contents at a glance and can often earn you a quick visual clearance without a bag dump. Think of it like this: disorganized, opaque packing looks like a problem waiting to be solved. Organized transparency looks like cooperation in motion. And now that you understand the science behind what scanners actually see, it's time to shift from the technical to the ethical. The items that get banned not because of danger, but because of where they come from. Section 7. Ethical and cultural bans. Items that offend or endanger. Some items aren't confiscated because they're dangerous. They're banned because they should never have been bought. Cruise lines have stepped up enforcement of wildlife protection and cultural sensitivity laws, and in 2025, those bans now apply from port to pier. The scanner doesn't just catch contraband, it catches conscience. A common mistake happens when travelers buy authentic ivory jewelry, coral decor, or carved bone trinkets in foreign markets, thinking they're supporting local artisans. In reality, many of those souvenirs come from endangered species or sacred materials. Once scanned or declared, they trigger an automatic report under CITES, the International Wildlife Trade Treaty. That means your keepsake can become evidence, not luggage. Savvy cruisers do it differently. They look for synthetized or certified replicas made from resin, glass, or reclaimed wood. They ask vendors for export certificates, and if that document looks suspicious or too new, they walk away. Even imitation weapons like samurai swords, pirate sabers, or tribal replicas can be grounds for denial. What feels like cultural appreciation can appear to customs or crew as cultural insensitivity or potential threat. Pro tip: before you cruise, check your line's import restrictions and review the CITES Appendix I and II lists. Most major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Princess, now align their onboard rules with those conservation standards. Bottom line, ethical awareness isn't just about doing the right thing. It's about keeping your vacation intact. The AI scanners don't make moral judgments, but the port officers who follow up do. And that brings us to the next modern minefield. It's not just what you buy that matters anymore. It's where you bought it and how that affects what happens when you board again. Section 8. E-commerce surprises. Why online deals get you flagged. In 2025, the danger isn't what you packed, it's where it came from. AI-powered import scanners now cross-reference serial numbers against global product registries, meaning that a single counterfeit or uncertified item can raise a digital red flag before your bag even hits the conveyor. That's how travelers end up explaining to port officers why their brand new smart charger or multi-adapter is missing its certification code. Most cruisers make the same mistake. They order bargain travel kits or power banks from unfamiliar online sellers, thinking they found the same gear at half the price. But AI security systems now know the difference. When a serial number doesn't match a manufacturer's database, or worse, belongs to a blacklisted batch, the scanner tags your luggage for manual inspection. What follows is a 15 to 20-minute delay that can make you miss your boarding window. Savvy travelers go the opposite route. They buy directly from cruise-approved storefronts, like the verified Amazon Cruise Essentials lists or the official travel gear pages linked in cruise line FAQs. These items already meet lithium safety limits, electromagnetic shielding standards, and labeling requirements that match port security systems. Royal Caribbean, for example, issued a 2025 memo banning non-certified and counterfeit electronic accessories, including knockoff charging hubs and Bluetooth adapters. Other lines quietly follow the same rule because one counterfeit power bank can compromise an entire ship's safety grid. Pro tip: before you pack, check for the UL or CE certification logo on every power item. If it's missing, assume it's not approved. A 5-minute check can save a $1,000 vacation. And that leads to the question every cruiser eventually faces. What happens when you're the one pulled aside, even though you did everything right? Section 11. Your turn. What got you flagged? Have you ever had something confiscated or been pulled aside for a random inspection? Maybe it was a harmless gadget or a forgotten liquid that somehow triggered a full bag search. Share your story in the comments. Those real experiences help other cruisers avoid the same headaches and keep this community smarter. If this breakdown is helping you pack with confidence, make sure you subscribe, because next up we're revealing Denied at the Gangway, 7 boarding mistakes that cost you the cruise. Now let's clear up the biggest myth still spreading across every cruise forum. Section 12. The myth of "they'll just hold it for you." It's one of the most common lines you'll hear at the security checkpoint. Don't worry, they'll just hold it for you. In reality, that promise often disappears the moment your bag leaves the scanner. Most cruise terminals don't have the space or the legal clearance to store confiscated items for return. Once it's tagged as prohibited, it's usually logged, sealed, and destroyed under maritime regulation. Many first-time cruisers assume it works like airport security, where a forgotten water bottle or pocket knife can be claimed later. But port operations aren't standardized that way. Some ports, like Galveston or Port Canaveral, may temporarily store harmless items like scissors or small tools, while others, especially international ones, dispose of everything on site for safety compliance. The worst surprise: you won't know which rule applies until it's too late. MSC tested a confiscation return locker pilot program in Miami, where sealed bins were used for storing non-dangerous items for pickup post-cruise. But that's the exception, not the rule, and it's not expanding beyond a handful of ports yet. Carnival and Royal both note in their fine print that confiscated property is not guaranteed for return. Translation: if you hand it over, it's gone. Pro tip: if you're carrying something borderline but essential, like a specialized tool, vape for medical use, or souvenir knife, ship it home before embarkation or leave it in your car. Don't gamble on storage. Because the ultimate secret to stress-free boarding isn't what you pack, it's how you pack. And up next, we'll walk through the insider method that port security quietly approves every time. Section 12. The myth of "they'll just hold it for you." It's one of the most common lines you'll hear at the security checkpoint. Don't worry, they'll just hold it for you. In reality, that promise often disappears the moment your bag leaves the scanner. Most cruise terminals don't have the space or the legal clearance to store confiscated items for return. Once it's tagged as prohibited, it's usually logged, sealed, and destroyed under maritime regulation. Many first-time cruisers assume it works like airport security, where a forgotten water bottle or pocket knife can be claimed later. But port operations aren't standardized that way. Some ports, like Galveston or Port Canaveral, may temporarily store harmless items like scissors or small tools, while others, especially international ones, dispose of everything on site for safety compliance. The worst surprise, you won't know which rule applies until it's too late. MSC tested a confiscation return locker pilot program in Miami, where sealed bins were used for storing non-dangerous items for pickup post-cruise. But that's the exception, not the rule, and it's not expanding beyond a handful of ports yet. Carnival and Royal both note in their fine print that confiscated property is not guaranteed for return. Translation: if you hand it over, it's gone. Pro tip: if you're carrying something borderline but essential, like a specialized tool, vape for medical use, or souvenir knife, ship it home before embarkation or leave it in your car. Don't gamble on storage. Because the ultimate secret to stress-free boarding isn't what you pack, it's how you pack. And up next, we'll walk through the insider method that port security quietly approves every time. Section 13. The Green Tag Packing System, 2025 edition. Here's the secret that seasoned travelers, flight crews, and even port agents quietly swear by: the Green Tag Packing System. It's not a gimmick. It's a method born from thousands of hours watching who breezes through embarkation and who gets held up for inspection. The difference isn't luck, it's layout. Imagine two travelers side by side. One opens their carry-on and it's chaos. Chargers knotted around sunscreen bottles, a GoPro tangled with socks, and a random power bank buried beneath it all. The scanner flags half the bag, and the secondary check begins. The other traveler unzips a soft shell case lined with transparent, color-coded pouches: green for tech, blue for liquids, clear for documents. Every item is visible, every wire is separate, every bottle is labeled. The scanner reads it instantly, and the traveler walks straight through. That's the power of the Green Tag system. It's built around transparency, logic, and visibility. Label your sections: tech, liquids, docs. Use TSA-approved clear pouches, no metal zippers, no dark linings. In the green pouch, keep your electronics and chargers. Wrap each cable neatly and place your power bank label side up. In the blue pouch, put your toiletries, everything under 100 milliliters and sealed in original containers. For documents, keep passports, boarding passes, and prescriptions in a clear sleeve you can grab without unzipping half your bag. The final step: photograph your layout. One quick top-down photo before you zip it shut does more than give you peace of mind. It's proof for claims if your bag is ever opened or questioned. Port security loves this level of organization because it saves them time. You're not hiding anything, and they can see that at a glance. Pro tip: choose an early morning check-in slot. Security agents are sharper, the queue is shorter, and AI scanners haven't been recalibrated multiple times yet. Combine that with the Green Tag system, and you'll glide through the terminal faster than the ship's Wi-Fi connects. Because smock packing isn't about squeezing more into your bag, it's about showing, at a glance, that you have nothing to hide. And in 2025, that single impression can make the difference between boarding on time or watching your ship sail without you. Section 14. Board smarter, not harder. You've just learned how to outsmart the most unpredictable part of cruising: security. You know what's banned, what's safe, and how to pack like a traveler the agents actually appreciate. From AI-flagged tech to power bank limits and the new ethical bans, you're now equipped to step through those scanners with confidence instead of confusion. Remember, port security isn't the enemy, it's the reason ships keep sailing safely. The tighter the rules, the smoother the voyage for everyone on board. And once you know how to work with this system, not against it, you save time, stress, and sometimes even your entire vacation. If you want to take your cruise prep even further, our next video dives into the stories that never make the brochures: denied boarding, real stories, and how to avoid it in 2025. Because smart cruisers don't fight security, they master it. And now, you're one of them.